All right, let's bring Nick in.
I want to give a shout out to all our listeners, who I call the Sea of Love.
With the letter C.
For Jim Norton and Sam Roberts. Oh, man. Welcome back, Nick Mullen. What's going on, man?
Not much. Thanks for having me.
Of
You
course.
were trying to get you and Stavros together to promote the podcast, but then Roland just like, Stavros is next week. He booked you guys separately.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess.
Yeah, we're happy to have you.
spreads it out, decent amount.
Yeah, I
of-
guess you get 2 plugs now.
Right,
That's
yeah.
not bad.
Yeah,
That's actually worked out really well for you.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
There's another. We have 4 other guys too. So if you want to book out the month.
4 other
really?
guys.
No, not really. No, there's one other guy, but we don't let him do the big shows.
Good.
Yeah.
He's not ready for it yet?
No, well, even if he was, you got to have one guy you beat up on. So that's his role.
Right.
He's had like the whipping post.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Stavros. I actually had. I was at Bobby Kelly's. I want to say it was either Thanksgiving or. Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Fixing that microphone.
Yeah, it's been for years. I've been telling him, but it was either Christmas or Thanksgiving. And his Instagram is really funny. He takes these really fucking.
Well, he's got a naked
No,
Instagram.
they banned him. They banned him from Instagram.
Why?
Because he kept showing his dick?
Is he showing his dick or just his ass?
I don't know.
babies.
I think it might be because people hate me. And I got banned from Facebook. So I think
Why?
it might be because I posted. Okay, so I bought like a 4K TV recently, like a big one, like a 65-inch TV. And have you ever seen Fortress?
No.
It's Christopher Lambert, and it's basically this dystopia. It came out in I think 1990, and it's the future. You're not allowed to have more than one kid. His like wife gets caught trying to have another kid, and so they put him in like a futuristic prison or whatever. But I used to watch the movie all the time when I was a kid. And I got this TV now, and I'm watching it, and I never noticed for the first time there's like a sex scene dream that's shot from behind, so you can't see the woman's breast.
Right.
So it's like, a PG-13 sex scene, but on the 4K TV, you can just see Christopher Lambert's balls.
Oh, wow.
They're totally visible. That's how well it was, shot at the time, but they figured, oh, this is going direct to video. No one's going to see his balls.
Yeah.
And they didn't, factor in 20 years later.
Plus, even back then, nobody's TV was big enough to really.
Right, yeah.
It's like you're talking about
A little
16-inch
square
screens.
tube, yeah.
Right, yeah. Well, and it's like perfectly life-size balls on a 65-inch TV.
Because of the way it's shot. Yeah.
I took a video of it to brag about how good my television was, and I put it on Facebook, and they banned me for it.
That's
They
not
banned you for that?
They banned me for it, yeah.
They were waiting to get you for something.
Yeah. Well, it's it's just like spiteful people that report everything that you do.
What are they reporting on? What are you saying that
I don't know. I probably said something about one of the comedian rape controversies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is there a
Yeah.
bunch of them? I know the one. I don't know what happened with the guy, but he who was talking about? Who was talking about that?
Aaron Glazer, that was the big one.
Is that the guy or the woman?
That was the guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who was talking about it on our show?
Maybe.
Oh, Kurt Metzger.
Kurt Metzger
okay.
was pretty heavily
that's
attached to
right,
it.
yeah. Metzger.
And he probably wants to distance himself from that shit now because it blew up in his face.
Yeah, it did.
Somebody was saying he got like this guy got like a huge settlement from UCB because of it, and it's like if he should give the money to Kurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kurt blew it up.
That's who deserves the money is
Yeah.
Kurt.
Yeah.
I didn't know he got a settlement. I know almost nothing about it.
Well, you stay out of the comedian Facebook drama for the most
I
part.
didn't even know
don't
what's happening.
Right.
It's not that I avoid it.
Yeah.
I'm not on Facebook that much. I go on once in a while to talk to my family or to post a video.
You're the older generation.
No, it's
I don't know
too
what these
much.
kids
Twitter's
are-
fast. You read it, you're done.
Yeah.
Facebook's a whole fucking thing. Read more. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
How about no?
Yeah,
But
I was only on there to write jokes. And
You are?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Yeah, it's like another social media joke platform. So I don't use it to. I have no interest in anything going on in the comedy.
Are there
community.
comedian wars on there though, and shit happening that I have no idea?
Yeah.
Ooh, well, I'm gonna go back and look. Like,
People-
what?
Doesn't Metzger write like essays on Facebook constantly?
Yeah.
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 And he's been
Yeah.
banned a couple times.
Has he?
Yeah, they suspend you. They make it so you can't post or whatever. But it's cruel because nobody knows your. Like my profile's still up. I just can't access it. They want me to.
For how long?
Indefinitely until I send them like a government ID, a photo of a government ID, and it's like you're overstepping your bounds. It's a blog, website. I'm not giving you
not
my
gonna do
fucking
that.
social security number.
Right.
Yeah.
So
My God.
Metzger, okay. So I remember he got in trouble. But, Kurt I love Kurt because he has these, like, mini meltdowns.
Yeah.
Where you'll see 40 posts in a row, and then the next day, because Kurt's a nice guy, and then he's like,
Yeah.
big psychopath.
Yeah.
All right, so you're banned from Facebook. But I didn't know there was comedian wars. I'm going to go back on and read some of these.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fun. Once you get, it's just so much though. You're right, because it's like if you don't know what's happening, you generally don't find out until it's been happening for a while. And then there's so much back work to do to get involved in all of it that you're just like, oh, fuck it. I don't know.
Now, I mean, the comedian wars now are like indistinguishable from the regular people wars, which is about like, well, are you at the Women's March for the right reason? You know,
it's not even about jokes.
It's pointless.
It's all social issues and shit like that.
It's not particular to comics, you know, which would be more fun, I guess, you know. Somebody stealing jokes or something.
I love that.
One of the best threads I ever saw. There was somebody showed it to me. There was like a Facebook group just for like San Antonio comedians, and hopefully they hear this and get mad at me. But they had this like huge thread where they're discussing like joke theft, and at one point somebody was like, "Look, if I'm in the Valley." And I know they like Rolando's jokes more than mine. I'm just gonna do his jokes, and they're all like, "Yeah, that makes perfect sense." They're just all in agreement with each other. They're like,
of course.
"Yeah, you steal jokes. That's what being a comic is."
Those are the ones they like. You give the audience what they want.
Yeah. Granted, all those guys did much better than me in South Texas. Anytime I performed there,
well, I'm sure they did very well. They know whose jokes were.
Right,
It's perfect. I like going on like. Independent wrestlers are the same as comedians, like wrestlers that have been around for like whatever 2 years or stuff. There's so much infighting and shitting on one guy or shitting on a promoter going on. When I can find those like meaty Facebook threads where somebody's like,
do you like them?
They're the fucking best.
Do you read them?
All of them. I go through every comment, the whole thing, and they're all just talking about stuff that nobody cares about. Nobody, whether it's like. You know, one of them was dating one of the girl wrestlers or something. And they're all so far, like, the further removed they are from actual, like, stardom, the bigger the drama gets. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's when it gets really
because
entertaining.
they're less afraid of saying shit. They don't care if they
they
don't
don't
like The Rock where they're going to lose everything by saying something stupid.
And they don't realize that none of the shit that they're arguing about matters at all. Right. Like, it's stupid to waste that kind of energy on it.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before. What's the other one? There's another Facebook one where it's all female comics, and they're talking about what male comics are like rapey.
Oh, like the Facebook group?
I think so, yeah.
Like there's a secret, you know, quote-unquote secret, you know, girls' Facebook group. But I'm sure there's plenty of those.
I want to get into some Facebook groups. I'm not in any Facebook groups.
Yeah, I was in a couple of them. Like, I was in one that was just for Austin comics. Comics from Austin, but then it was like this tier of Austin comics who had just been around for a while, and then they would just shit all over whoever happened to start like a year after them.
Right.
And then there was another secret group for that one, so that they could talk shit about the 2 or 3 people that made it their way into that secret group. And then there was another one on top of it, and it's like, I don't fucking
It's too much. It becomes overwhelming. Do you ever get overwhelmed by it, like where you're just like stuck and you're like, I can't fucking get out of this?
Well, I never really got too deep into like those Facebook groups. I mean, you know, I don't really feud with people. I think there's people that don't like me, and then they'll report my shit or whatever. But, you know, I don't, if I'm getting into an argument with somebody, it's like, all right, well, here's where I stand, and if you know, you don't like that, then whatever, you know, and that's pretty much the end of it. But my favorite Facebook groups that I was pretty active in is there were all these like anti-Obama Facebook groups where even the title was typed with such urgency that it's like all capital letters, like Obama, comma, illegal Muslim, kill him now, you know, and they just share all these conservative memes, and it's great. And you would think that they would die down after the election, but they've gotten even better.
Well, yeah, now they feel defensive of Trump, so they're like, we're going to stick up for our
and it's like, see, I told you we were right. Look who's the president. We were right the whole time.
Well, I went into one of them, and I was posting all these like back when like the fake news thing blew up, I was like photoshopping articles that said that Trump was like bringing Sharia law to the United States, and they're like, this isn't true, and I'm like, it's 100% true. Look here, it's right here on the New York Times. It says that, you know? And they're like, well, I guess I've been tricked then. Just giving up.
I also love that you'll spend the time to do that. Like, you'll be like, you know what I should do? And you'll get in Photoshop and you'll spend the time to create this thing just to watch these people you don't even know who they are go nuts.
Well, actually, here's a trick. If you want to like create fake news or whatever, and you want to go the screen cap route,
that's what people keep hearing about fake news. But it's like, how do we create our own?
It's very easy. If you use Chrome, I'm pretty sure it's Chrome. You hit F12, that brings up developer tools, and then there's a little arrow icon, that top one. Okay, you click that, scroll up on the web page that you're on. And then click the headline with that arrow. And then if you double click the markup, you can just edit that, and then you screen cap that. That way you don't have to go into Photoshop. Yeah, you just change the text on the page itself.
And then you just do a screen cap of the headline without
well,
the article.
You can do the screen cap of the whole page, you know, and then it looks right in context. That way you don't have to fuck with it. You can just change the markup itself.
Now, can you go down in the middle and do parts of the article
yeah,
too?
you can change the whole thing. You can change the picture.
God, I'm gonna all my fucking stand-up reviews.
Yeah, that's the way I do it. When I said I photoshopped it, I didn't want to explain this process, but that's the easiest way to do it.
You're gonna try it, Jim?
Oh, all my stand-up reviews are gonna be terrific from now on. The New York Times just reviewed my special. Oh, it's awesome.
I also find it odd that like you have a 65-inch 4K TV because if I recall correctly, the last time you were here, we spent a good amount of time talking about the squalor and the shit that you live in Chinatown.
I moved out of the Chinatown place.
Oh, congrats, man.
Yeah, but that was before I came in last time. That's just the only interesting story I have. Is that,
Where are you now?
I'm in Bed-Stuy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with a black Chinese family.
Are you?
Yeah, no.
Oh, I'm so stupid. I really believe
Black Chinese.
Hey, Bed-Stuy, he was Asian. Why not? It could have happened. And then if I would have said, like, that's crazy, somebody would pull up, you're a racist.
Do or die. Bed-Stuy.
Half the family's always robbing the other half.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're in Bedford-Stuyvesant. Do you get bothered there or no?
No. No, not really. Yeah, my roommate had his friend over, and some guy walked by the apartment and asked for money, and his dumbass friend gave the guy money. And then since then, like 2 or 3 guys have come by, like asking if they can hang out on the stoop, you know. And so I blame him for that. But outside of that, no, I haven't had any problems.
You with the same girl?
Yeah, we don't live together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How long have you been dating her for?
About a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to move in with her?
No, I wouldn't move in with anybody prior to 3 years, just on principle alone.
Have you done it? I've never done it.
I guess technically, but no, not really. You know, I stayed with my girlfriend and her mom for like a long time when I was like 19.
Which was good or no?
No, yeah, and it'll.
It sounds terrible.
Yeah, it's bad, and it'll fuck up, a relationship pretty easy. I mean, I've like had friendships like severely tainted just by living with somebody.
Yeah.
Your best friend, and then you find out that they, wipe their ass with coffee filters.
Then you respect them more.
Yeah.
This is why we're best friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, then they put the coffee filters back in the pot, and, ruins your morning.
I get it.
I don't know if that would ruin my morning or not. I'd get a kick out of that.
You get shit coffee?
Yeah, I wouldn't drink it. But
This coffee tastes awful, but I'm coming for some reason.
Go ahead.
I was just ask how Cumtown is doing.
It's going well. That's actually why, thankfully, people have been letting me promote it on, the bigger shows, and we just sell premium subscriptions, and I'm able to basically live off that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah,
that rules.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought you were because usually people who are doing podcasts try to do the whole and if you support the podcast, it allows us to keep doing it. Nobody ever says. If you support the podcast, I'll be able to buy a big TV.
Yeah.
And that'd be great.
Mm-hmm. I felt bad about it at first when, because I wasn't touching the money when it started to come in. And I was promising guys, we're going to get video equipment and we're going to start, we're going to produce a web series and stuff. And then, I'm an idiot. So I immediately just buy a PlayStation and I bought a giant blender. I bought a Vitamix blender.
Right.
And, I was I feel like I'm exploiting these people, but, they're like, no, we know you're an idiot.
Yeah.
We knew you were going to be ignorant with the money.
We wanted to listen to the podcast now and hear about your big blender. The nonsense that you're buying.
Do you use the blender?
Yeah, it's great. No, the Vitamix is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you
Stop
make
got one too. You can make salsa. You can it's really good for prep work, for wet chopping stuff and, make hummus. You can make whatever you want. I love mostly green smoothies, but you can do that with any blender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a blender. I fucking giving it away.
You don't use the blender?
No.
Why not? Well, that's
because too much cleanup.
You go down and you buy shakes all the time.
Yeah, juice or it's just too much cleanup. I can't do it. You got to dump this stuff in the garbage and fucking not clog your sink. It's
well, these are pretty easy to clean. I mean, any blender is going to be. It's a fucking pain in the ass to get it under the sink or whatever. But
I want a blender that cleans out like a fleshlight. Just imagine.
Well, you could probably put a fleshlight on the motor base and then just fuck the fleshlight on the blender.
That's true. Yeah.
And it would spin around.
Yeah.
Would that work?
I don't know.
It sounds really dangerous.
Yeah.
But
What would a centrifugal force on your dick?
I think if you put enough lube inside the I think it could.
Yeah.
I think it could work.
I'd lose my erection though. My cock would probably just twist up. It wouldn't work.
It would look like pretzel dough when they're like spinning it.
Yeah, it'd be bad.
Your listeners probably also want to hear when you guys end up having to sell all your shit because you have a big tax bill and all you have is a $500 blender.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been, through comedy, I've been on 1099s for a couple of years, so I know how to, like, put money aside and write stuff off. So I'll be okay with taxes.
Good.
Do you go on the road at all?
I used to. I guess I'm in Cap City next month, 8th through the 11th.
Okay.
And then, a little bit like one-nighters here and there. But not as... Before I moved to New York, I used to be more on the road.
Yeah, it helps. Go out and make some money. Let's say you
Yeah.
pay your rent in the fucking city, just do your spots, and there's no money in the city.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for like a lower... Like, I'm just now headlining, and it's really not that much money anymore.
No.
You know, and no flight, no accommodation, so... It's
no accommodations?
Nope.
Jesus
And
Christ.
flights have gone up, so it's like I'm making maybe $100 more than I did as a feature.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah, it's weird. It's like you because the money was never good. Like it used to be on the road, 25 to host, 50 to middle, 100 to close, and then it went up to like 100 to middle. And I remember the first guy that paid me $500 for a week. I thought that was all the money in the world.
Yeah.
It was the Laughing Wolf. He paid me $500 for a fucking week's
I remember
work.
the first time I featured. It was like, this feels like irresponsible that I should be getting money to tell jokes. Like this much money? That's real money.
Wasn't that amazing when it was a couple $100?
Yeah,
You're like, holy shit.
Yeah. As a guy who's also a writer, does it freak you out when SNL does something like suspending the chick for tweeting about Barron Trump?
That's cowardice. I've
But just to see like where the culture's going, because like ideally you're like, oh,
it's
like
been there.
Right.
The culture's been there, and most of the people complaining about the firing are the ones that helped create this culture.
Absolutely.
So mostly I get mad. That doesn't scare me in any way. I mean, I've not had work long enough that if I lost a job over saying something, it wouldn't bother me that much.
But isn't it funny? You just said like how many people are going, see what happens with Trump, and it's like you dumb motherfuckers. This has been happening for years.
I was saying, here's what you do: write a joke about Barron Trump being trans, and then see who gets mad. Then see who wants people fired.
Hey, did she get fired or no? She just suspended.
No, they suspended her
indefinitely though.
Yeah.
That might just be a way to let it die down.
They took away her gun and her badge.
Oh, okay. So she's on death duty.
Suspended indefinitely is usually like, okay, and then once the story dies down, we'll just fire you.
Maybe, or they may bring her back. Because a lot of people have put... Dan Harmon offered her a job. I love that people are sticking up for her.
Yeah.
But I just wish they stuck up for other acts, too, and not just one who's bashing Trump. Like, I wish the other comics were getting defended
no one's
like
gonna
that.
No one's gonna learn that lesson from this.
No.
This is like, this is look what conservatives are doing. Like, now who hates PC culture?
Right.
And it's like, people still hate it, and this is why they hate it, because it gives people, you set a precedent, and it gave them the opportunity to get someone fired over literally bullshit.
Right.
Her job is to write jokes.
Yeah.
She was doing her job.
And it was a pretty good joke. I mean, you knew she didn't mean it.
Yeah.
Right. And if she goes back, by the way, and apologizes for the joke, I really don't have a problem with that. Because as a 10-year-old kid needs to whatever, like
She shouldn't have to apologize.
She shouldn't have to, but you can understand where she would and where there would be pressure to do that, because people do get shitty about making fun of kids.
Even The Onion, and The Onion does whatever the fuck they want, but even they where they wrote that girl was acting like the 9-year-old was a cunt. That made me laugh out loud.
It's so
really
funny.
That made me laugh out. It was so obnoxious.
Yeah.
And so anyone knows that that's not real.
Yeah.
But
I can
even
see
they
where,
had to say they were sorry. So once in a while.
And I can see where NBC would be like, look, we get it, but just apologize. But once the apology is there, it's like it's a non-issue, dude. Like move on.
Yeah.
And even that's the apology is the only thing that's even a conversation.
Well, the other thing we learned is
debatable.
Apologies do fucking nothing.
Yeah.
No.
Like the admission of guilt, it's almost like you have to treat it like in a legal context where you don't want to apologize because you don't want to say, hey, I'm guilty of the thing you're saying I'm doing.
I'd say like it seems like very, very close to 100% of the people who apologize get fired for it.
Yeah.
And I think that does have a lot to do with
beyond getting
it.
fired is like once there's blood in the water, these people won't forgive you.
Yeah.
Once you say, "Oh, I'm sorry,"
We
they're
got
like,
him.
"Sorry's not enough." Yeah.
Well, you know what? To the
It's a reverse troll. It's like when you're trolling somebody, or when somebody's getting trolled, and they acknowledge it.
Yeah.
And the trolls figure out, they're getting bothered by it. Let's jump on them. The opposite side with the exact same mentality is the headhunters that are like, Oh, they apologized. That means they know what they did was wrong. Now we can get them.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Well, SNL needs to make up its fucking mind too. It's like your whole show now is geared towards worshiping Obama, and bashing Trump, and you set this culture where this is 100% how we are. There is zero variation of ideology on this show, and then she goes after Trump, and she thinks it's safe, and suspended over the line.
Yeah.
Say, make up your fucking minds. Are you guys edgy, or are you just,
It's almost as if they're a business with no, no interest in
creativity.
creativity
creating anything.
Right.
Yeah, I am looking at them from a pure form. Like, these guys are legitimately, and it's like, no, it is a business.
Yeah.
I'm naive. That's one part of my charm.
Yeah, I will. I will say though, I guess like as a comic or an artist, it is kind of like pleasing that we're going back to a place where you can get in trouble for saying or doing certain things, because like, then you have something to fight against, and you're not just somebody writing jokes. You know?
can actually be rebellious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I'd say the peak of say whatever the fuck you want was probably the mid to late 90s,
Yeah.
Where sketch comedy was like, what if a lady was Chinese? That's the bit, But that's got to feel like you're kind of just screaming into the void, If you're not bothering anybody and there's no risk there, not that should be, the goal for, political or cultural commentary is just making fun of Chinese people. Although it is pretty funny.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, now that you can get fired for making fun of the president's son, like now you have something to fight against. I think that it's could be a blessing if you want to look at the silver
in the
lining.
late 80s you could do a lot, but 92 when like that was when political correctness and Dice, I'm telling you, Andrew Dice Clay was the first guy to really get killed with PC. Yeah, it was the women's groups, they didn't like the gay groups.
In the late 90s, they started getting nuts. Like, in the late 90s, it was pretty much anything goes. And that was whether it was
Chinese
comedy
shit you could still do, though. Like, the racial stuff
TV,
wasn't as bad, but
or whatever it was. Because that was when, like...
Mad TV had some, like, pretty hard, joke. They had one sketch, and I love Mad TV. I think it holds up more than older SNL does if you go back. But they had one sketch where the joke was it was Snickers bars, but for black people. And you take the word Snickers, and where do you go with that? And that day, and they photoshopped the logo. And I was like, that's the sketch.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that would be funny if they did it with a Mars bar.
Yeah.
They didn't even do it with they didn't even do it with an A at the end.
No. Yeah.
They left the ER.
And there is a bit of like, they are, I hate to use the term punching up here, but the joke is that this guy's being racially profiled, and then it's not going anywhere for a while, grab a Snickers or whatever. But
taillight was out. That's impossible. This is a brand new car.
You fit the description. Now get out of the car.
What description?
Get out of the car.
Yeah. So at least there's a commentary on racism before they get it across.
Yeah, sometimes you have to set things up a certain way if you know where you're going.
yeah.
Have a Snickers bar.
Okay,
That's very funny.
Yeah.
That's really funny, and it's social comment. That's great.
Yeah.
That's
but
great.
imagine trying to do that sketch now.
It couldn't happen.
Right.
Because context is dead.
Right.
There is no context for any of this stuff
Imagine
anymore.
you're pitching like a sketch TV show to like, I don't know, True TV or whatever, and like, all right, this is the one idea I
have. Yeah. You show them a Snickers bar and you go, well, what if I put...
Yeah, you get it?
Yeah.
But if there's an S in front of it, it's not.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, I mean, not that like, that kind of comedy is important or whatever, but you need to be able to make that kind of comedy so that you can make the kind of comedy that really is impactful, without fear of like, oh, well, or how are people going to interpret this,
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing. When there's stuff that like you just, there's just no place. You just can't do this ever.
That kind of shit makes room for stuff like world peace, and that's why it's important.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
And they should
world police, not world peace. Even though I do think world peace is funny.
Yeah.
They should stop. People just worry too much about what the reaction is going to be. Like, are we going to get in trouble for this? I mean, I think of that sometimes. Like, I like my job. I don't want to get... And it sucks to think that way.
Yeah.
It's like you have to think, is it funny? Oh, and this. Not is it right, but, is the...
I mean, there are things like you go like, okay, that's okay on the radio, but is it okay on Twitter? Probably not on Twitter. That's okay on over here. Like, just because of like... of who's going to see what and what's it going to turn into, and then once it turns into something, you're not going to get defended on anything.
No, you can't defend yourself in 140. Oh, there's nothing worse than watching someone try to defend themselves on Twitter.
You can't. You can't even try on Twitter. As bad as it is on Facebook, and people who try to,
Before you judge me, you need to understand, parentheses, 1 of 7. Like, you're just going tweet after tweet after tweet.
And it never helps.
Never.
Because nobody gives a fuck.
I feel like that'll die down, though. I mean, it has to at a certain
We've been
point.
saying that for 20 years. We've been hoping. Dude, me and Colin just talked about this. He's like, I keep thinking it's going to swing. It never swings back. It feels like it's going to. Like it goes all the way, and then it comes back a teeny bit, and then it goes further than it had before. You're like, cunt. I thought it was coming back. Never does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I feel like the same way as Nick, that at some point it's got to be cyclical.
Hopeful. Believe me, I hope you're right, but it's wishful thinking. It just never, ever, ever does. Because the young people are the ones pushing it, and it's not like we all stay the same
we gotta
age.
kill the young people.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Did you see Shia LaBeouf got arrested?
Yeah.
For what he's doing?
What's he doing?
Well, he got arrested for assault because somebody got in his face and then he roughed the guy up.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is back to what we were talking about. I think earlier this week that Shia LaBeouf is doing his. He's doing it for 4 years. He's going to be live streaming. And what are they saying? He will not divide us?
Yeah.
Is that right? So for 4 years, him and Jaden Smith and a crowd of people are just standing in this spot. And they're saying, he will not divide us. He will not divide us. And it's live streaming.
It's not going to happen
for all this
4
time.
years.
You remember we watched
why weren't they doing it for 8 years?
Well, because he's not definitely going to get a second
Wishful
term.
thinking.
He will.
Yeah. As long as this live stream is up,
Yeah.
he'll get the second term. But you remember, that's when he was yelling at the kid and doing this. So
it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Like on a not cringe. Like uncomfortable. But
Yeah.
ugh.
I've kind of come full circle on Shia. I used to think he was sort of when his first. I think as far as me witnessing him goes, his first big public, question mark, what the fuck is going on with this guy
Stevens?
moment. No, was his Details magazine interview from 2010 or maybe 2011. And I think the title of the article was Hollywood's Last Bad Boy. And it was just bizarre because I knew him as this, sort of comedic, pretty talented, emerging dramatic actor. And then he did this weird interview, and there's all these pictures of him in cowboy boots, in the back of in a trailer bed or whatever, and how he's I get in a lot of fights all the time, and it just seemed to completely contrast with his public image, which was hey, I'm the comedic foil or whatever,
Right?
And then you found out it was real, and then he started doing a bunch of weird shit. But now he's gotten so crazy that I appreciate him for being in that job.
Now it's almost like he's like Randy Quaid territory. It's not even it's not a bit. He's just that guy.
Yeah, and he's still a talented actor.
Great actor.
I watched Fury, which I didn't think was a particularly good movie, and he was fantastic in it. And that was at the height of him being a nut job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was good in the Wall Street sequel. It wasn't a great movie, but he was he maintained. You know what I mean?
I didn't see that.
Yeah. But he was believable as a guy in a suit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He wasn't. Oh, here comes Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah. Well, I think if you spend your entire life pretending not to be a fucking psychopath, which was what was buried underneath the entire time, you have to develop some ability to act pretty well.
He was a kid actor. Do you think he was crazy when he was a kid?
Maybe.
Just a little fucking.
I don't know how mental illness works, but yeah, sure.
Even Stevens.
Yeah.
I didn't see
He was
that.
like a Disney Channel kid.
What?
It was
So
a
what
big
did he just
show.
get arrested for?
So he
there
he assaulted.
Oh yeah, somebody got in his face. I guess a Trump supporter got in his face.
Yes.
Or something, and Shia shoved him away.
Yeah, he shoved him, and apparently I don't think it was.
Is this the guy?
This is what he was arrested for.
This?
Isn't this the video of him yelling that we watched before? I don't think this is.
Him
Yeah, I don't think this was it.
This is what he was arrested for. This is him getting arrested.
Yeah, I think let's look at arrested because I don't think that is what he got arrested for because we watched that 2 days before he got arrested.
And who are these people? Oh.
Those are his people who just show up for the live stream. Anybody can go. Is she trying to block the camera with her heart?
Oh.
I think she's just getting
She's
herself
cute.
on camera with
Wow.
Shia so she can show it to her acting coach.
Oh, see, they're cuffing him.
Oh, for what?
They said it was assault. He shoved, and then apparently the guy had a scratch on his face. It was it's a bullshit thing.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a real assault. There was no real fight.
Oh, okay.
He didn't hit anyone.
Yeah, but they'll arrest you for touching anybody.
Oh, there's the guy. There's the young guy who got in somebody else. He's screaming and everything like a little child. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Stop
It'd be great
it.
if the heart was it Richard Ramirez that had the pentagram?
Yeah.
The pentagram on his thing. The Night Stalker.
He used to tuck his fucking pants into his socks so he didn't get caught on anything. He was a smart guy.
That's genius.
You know, he
Yeah,
had
yeah.
terrible breath.
I think he did, yeah, because he had rotted teeth.
Well, because he used to just eat, he used to just break into convenience stores and just eat junk food. That's what he lived off of.
Yeah.
And so, he would, murder and rape people or whatever, but he'd break into people's houses. And, yeah, his teeth were all rotting out of his face because all he ate was sugar.
Snickers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he bludgeoned this old lady to death with a fucking lamp and raped her. He was a bad. And there was one couple. I think he broke in and killed the guy, and then the old lady. He was in the bedroom, and she takes the fucking shotgun out from under the bed and points it at him, and he's like, "Oh fuck!" And then dummy pulls the trigger, and it goes click, click, because her husband had taken the ammunition out because their grandkid had been over, and so once that happened, Richard didn't give her time to
Right back to it. We
reload.
got to kill the children.
Yeah,
That's another thing.
Yeah, they always
Those people
fuck
would be
everything up.
alive today.
Let's go to Zach in Virginia. Zach, welcome to Jim Norton and Sam Roberts. Nick Mullen is here.
Hi, Zach.
Hey, what's up, guys? That video that y'all were watching before wasn't the one that he was arrested for. He was apparently some guy walked up, and you can see Shia go into the background, and he comes up and hits him in the chest, and then steps back and tries to dap him up, and then takes it, pulls him out of the scene, and then apparently he ends up with a scratch on his face. And
Yeah, where's that video?
Yeah, that wasn't. I don't even know if that has leaked out everywhere. I mean, obviously it was on video because the whole thing's being live streamed. I just don't know. I haven't seen it. I don't know if anybody clipped
Is
it. I'm
Jaden
sure
Smith
somebody
there?
did. He's not there all the time, but he's been there. I think at one point he was doing 4 hours.
Oh yeah, you watch. They'll be down to 1 hour a week, then a month.
I don't know.
No, we were just a conduit starting it.
Shia, he also at one point, just to raise awareness for something or other, or maybe it was just performance art and there was nothing to be raising awareness for, he did a movie marathon.
Yeah, I
that he
watched
live
some
streamed.
of it. Yeah, at the Angelica.
Yeah, I remember we were watching it. That was when I was doing the night show, and we were watching it because it was midnight, and we got to watch Shia LaBeouf just trying to stay awake, and all the weirdos that were hanging out in the movie theater with him.
That was the moment where I came full circle on him. Was watching him watch his own movies, and he's genuinely reacting to them and laughing, and then you check back in, and he's just passed out.
Yeah, because he stayed in the movie theater for 4 days.
Yeah,
and just watched every movie he's ever made.
Every movie he's ever been in.
And it was and the public could go for free, and so people were lined up, a lot of people lined up to go in, and whenever you could just go in and stay as long as you wanted, and then you leave.
He's a performance artist now. He's like a Abramovich for people who enter burrito eating contests. That's what Shia LaBeouf is.
Yeah, that's what he's.
What a weird guy.
That's what he's done. There he is,
dragged
off in cuffs.
I have sympathy for him. I mean, it must be weird to grow up, as a child actor or whatever, and then you hit adulthood. I mean, he at least didn't go the route of Urkel, which was I guess 5 years on the show and demanding that they write in a version of you that's cool.
Oh,
Stefan?
did he?
Yeah.
Is that what he did?
I assume. I don't. It doesn't make sense to me where that character would come from, other than Jaleel not wanting to be typecast.
Oh, was that actually
Stefan Urkel?
Oh, I don't know what that is. I don't watch the show.
Oh, yeah. On Family Matters, there's Urkel, who was originally just a walk-on role.
Right.
Very famous character. That I know.
Yeah.
But he was supposed to just be in the
It's
pilot. He wasn't
one-off,
going to be
and
in
then,
the series.
he came on in the third or fourth episode or something like that, and people loved Urkel so much that they were like, "Oh, this is just the Urkel show."
Yeah.
And then this guy who was maybe he was a comic, I don't know, but he's an actor. And then that just became his
just
life.
a little kid, so he's probably just a child actor.
Right, exactly. And
But
then you
yeah,
have to be Urkel for the rest of your fucking life.
I totally believe your theory about him making them write in Stefan Urkel.
Yeah.
Because I've interviewed him, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years ago at this point. And, it's really obvious that he, comes in with this vibe. He really wants to lay in that he is a cool guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's he doesn't even really like talking about Urkel. And he's like, man, that thing was just something that I did. And like he's so far removed from anything nerdy.
Do you think how far into it did they put this character on? Because it's like when
Stefan, pretty late in the show.
Yeah, I was deep into it.
Maybe it's just because they felt like he had jumped the. I hate to joke, but maybe they felt he had run its course. Like with remember Taxi when fucking Andy Kaufman or Latka became Vic Ferrari. It was like it just got boring for him to probably do the same. And Vic Ferrari was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Hey Rieger, he was such a cunt. He was fucking great.
My favorite was Star Trek Voyager. So every Star Trek has a sexy lady character, you know.
Sure.
Next Generation had Troy. Deep Space Nine had the Dax, I guess. And so Voyager, when it launched, they had there was like Torres, who was like kind of attractive, but it was like, wow, we have a female captain. This is a progressive show. Janeway, who I'm sure people want to fuck, but it's just Captain Janeway. And then like season 6 or something, they're like, all right, got to do something for the ratings, and then they put in the Borg character with the huge tits, with like a special outfit that was even more revealing than the rest of them. They
That
just
I don't
gave up.
remember.
Well, I've never been a Star Trek guy.
No.
Yeah, they added a. I was never a huge Star Trek fan, but I watched it because I didn't have cable. And that was like the flagship show.
On like UPN or something? Yeah.
It was Voyager.
I remember that UPN used to air Voyager like non-stop.
Yeah.
The way USA airs SVU.
Yeah. Voyager and Sentinel and 7 Days were like the big hour-long dramas on UPN.
On UPN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would suck that girl's tits.
You would? I know.
Is that her?
Yeah.
Oh
You'd suck her
God, she
tits,
looks like
but
Scarlett
would you
Johansson.
watch Voyager? To
For
see
her, I
those
might.
tits? Yeah, right.
She was
And it
huge
worked.
in that era. Like
How old is she now? Do you think? Oh, this is 20 years ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago.
Shit.
Yeah, she's older now.
God,
She was
damn
on
it.
she was on a show called Boston Public.
Yeah, Boston Public.
Was
She
that
played
about
one of
the public
she's so
school
cute.
Fox drama?
She's
She
my
also
age.
I mean, I nutted in my pants so much to this woman when I was like
Jerry
jerk off to
Ryan.
her?
Jerry Ryan,
yeah.
right?
Definitely. That was like an early jerk off thing. Looking up like fake nudes where it's like they just poorly put her face for someone with 19 dicks all around her. I'm like, I can't believe she did this. I thought she was making money at Voyager.
She's fucking pretty, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oof.
she was
Big
very
fucking
popular.
Fat tits.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. when
No,
I hold them.
I distinctly remember her guest starring on Sentinel one time and me like being stoked to watch Sentinel, which was a very dumb show.
Do you know what I would
I
do?
don't
I
really
would
imagine.
suck her tits like an infant and then just jerk myself off. Like she wouldn't have to touch me. She could just lay there and hold my head.
Baby head you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Women
well,
like that.
You suck on her tits and then you get Janeway to jerk you off.
Who's Janeway?
The captain of the ship.
Oh, look at the fat pussy.
Is she the one
bulge.
who's on Orange is the New Black now?
Yes.
Plays
yes.
the
She
Russian?
plays the old Russian bitch.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Diplomacy, Mr. Chakotay.
Is
That's
that
who
the only
want a
TV
hand-
character you're
that's-
strapped to?
That's who you want a good hand job from.
Yeah.
What'd you ask?
Is
Nice
that the only
diplomatic
TV?
hand job.
I never jerked off to really TV characters. It was always cable TV.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
amazed that somebody could get off to a regular TV.
Well,
character.
I wouldn't watch the show and masturbate. There's not enough of like, you'd be mostly be masturbating to Ensign Kim having some kind of emotional crisis. But I'm definitely like, prior to Google, whatever search, Hotbot, I think or Lycos was my big search engine.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Lycos. I was watching. I think maybe one of the first times that I jerked off to completion, because in the beginning, like you're just jerking off. It's not going. You're not getting anywhere with it. But I think one of the first time, if not the first time, I was watching Kelly Bundy on Married with Children.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
that one did it.
Where
Yeah.
she has the pasties.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that was before. That would have been the 90s, so the internet was not like
Right.
you couldn't
Yeah.
easily access.
The first time I jerked off to completion was the non-nude sex scene in The Rock.
the Sean Connery film.
Yeah. When he's fucking his wife on the chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first
For
time.
real?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Because I remember I thought I broke my dick. I was like, what the fuck?
What is this?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You get scared.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I didn't keep going the first time I almost came. I stopped. I didn't know what it was. I ran to the bathroom and pointed my dick at the toilet, and
Yeah.
nothing happened.
It didn't.
No.
You thought you were going to piss?
Yes.
That happened to me once when I was 13. I jerked off like 3 times in a row. Because I used to just, I was like a latchkey kid, so I'd go home and I would have until like 7, until my mom came home to beat off as much as possible.
Whoa, you getting a boner right now watching this?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
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 Just bringing back memories.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. Yeah, like, look at this. Look how non-sexual this
It's
is.
terrible.
This looks like a
awful.
fucking ad for soap.
Yeah. It's horrible.
Yeah.
The giant dumb phone. Oh, this is awful.
Yeah.
Who's the girl?
I don't know. I thought it was Taya Leone, but I'm not. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see the
I
screen.
don't think it
Yeah,
is.
it's not. I remember thinking it was her, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there was one time, I went for 3 in a row, and then right at the end, on the last one, I just started pissing everywhere. I don't know how that happens, but
we
I guess
learn.
Yeah.
You know, it's a learning process. And the whole thing, you have to go through some of this stuff before
And
you
now
can perfect it.
now I have to piss every time, or it doesn't work.
I can't fall asleep after I come because I always have to whiz. It keeps me awake. It doesn't knock me out. It's the fucking worst.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I blow a load. I never fall asleep.
Are we? How much time do we have?
30 seconds.
Oh,
right.
Jesus Christ. We
didn't get
where's
our
the
warning.
Denny warning?
You guys were talking.
No, you got to interrupt
You got to
us.
get the
All right.
warning.
All right.
The computer shuts us off.
Nick Mullen on Twitter.
Wow, we both said that together.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
All right, you can blow them. All right.
Are we rapping?
The show
Yeah,
is
yeah.
done.
Download Cumtown on iTunes, at Nick Mullen on Twitter. We'll be back Monday.
Last plug,
Anything
Nick?
else?
Yeah, I wanted to just say rest in peace to Just Leslie on Twitter. Is a huge fan of this show.
Oh, yeah.
and all the shows. She passed away recently.
Do we know why?
how?
how?
No, I don't know. Somebody reached out to me, but yeah, it's pretty sad. She,
Yeah, I heard
she was
that
real
sucks.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, rest in
bye,
peace.
Leslie.
All right. Are we still on the air, do you think, or you have no idea?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Rest in peace, Leslie. Jim, you're coming over to my house for Royal Rumble, right?
I am, yeah, and hopefully I'll be giving the rest in peace thing for you on Monday.
All right. Goodbye.